You know, I say I root for Gryffindor, but secretly I love my Slytherin boys.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 actresses who have a distinct voice.
As you get to know the person, that's the lyrics, their story, who they are underneath.
For this list, we'll be looking at talented women we can name just by their voices. If we missed any of your favorite vocal queens, let us know in the comments. Number 20, Cree Summer.
My name's Susie. What's yours?
Tommy.
Hi, Tommy. Want me to show you our new house?
But what about your sucker?
Sucker? Oh, yeah. That's not important right now.
If you know Susie Carmichael, you know Cree Summer, but Rugrats isn't the only notable children's show Summer has appeared on. The voice actress has lent her throaty chops to the likes of Danny Phantom, codename Kids Next Door, and Inspector Gadget. You probably remember her best as Susie though, or maybe as Elmira Duff in Tiny Toon Adventures.
I'll take you home and lock you in a nice little cage and never, ever let you out except to pet you and love you and hug you and squeeze you all up.
Summer has a signature rasp to her voice that sits interestingly in her higher register instead of her lower, making her more recognizable to the ear. Our favorite part of her voice? Her laugh, which is a unique crackling delight. Number 19, Carol Channing. If the character was essentially instability personified, you could bet that Carol Channing was playing her. The comedic actress had a penchant for playing expressive, ardent characters, usually with a bit of an oddball streak.
In the tone of a saxophone that makes me do a little wiggle all my own, 'cause I'm a jazz baby.
In addition to her physical chops, she used her body, raspy voice to great effect. In movies like Thoroughly Modern Millie and Skidoo, she would waltz in and steal the show with her low, growling tones. And when she sang, the effect was only made stronger.
I do believe it really is the thing to do. Skidoo, skidoo. Between the 1 and 3 there is a 2.
Hollywood obviously loved this quirky lady's vocals. She was nominated for Academy Awards, Tonys, and all other sorts of awards, and won a fair few of them too. Number 18, Whoopi Goldberg. Some people can contort their bodies, but Whoopi Goldberg, she can contort her vocal cords.
There isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high you can keep me away.
Goldberg's normal speaking voice is interesting enough, all low and scratchy. However, she has the ability to take that low rasp wherever she wants. She can be low and sultry, high and wheezing, and everything in between. In most of her best performances, this voice is almost weaponized to make us laugh. She's not a one-trick pony though. In movies like Ghost, she shows off not just her skills for comedic delivery, but her flair for drama as well.
I'm gonna miss you too, Sam. You're all right.
Bye, AUDREY.
Bye, Sam.
Number 17, Megan Mullally. As soon as she starts speaking, there's only one name we can think of. There is perhaps no TV actress who is more associated with a role than Megan Mullally is with Karen Walker on Will and Grace.
That's why you spend all of your time fixing everybody else's problems so you don't have to look at your own.
That's crap, really.
She can do so much with her snide, haughty little squeak, and during her time on the show, she really married Karen to that vocal performance. Even in her other films and TV series, Mullally is able to contort her voice just enough to remind us that she's not just Karen. Whether it's movies like Speaking of Sex or the sitcom Parks and Recreation, she always manages to make the characters all her own.
You son of a bitch.
It didn't take
Oh
long.
my God!
Oh,
What is
good
your
idea.
problem? Nothing's changed, has it? Who set the bed on fire, huh?
Number 16, Demi Moore. When you're a wildly famous movie star, it behooves you for people to be able to recognize you before they even see you. In the 1980s and 90s, Demi Moore had that very specific quality about her since her voice is a good bit lower than most female movie stars.
Why are you doing this to me? Do you hear me? Why are you doing this to me? I just can't.
That low, drawling quality made her an excellent fit for erotic thrillers and fed into her sex symbol persona. But her voice also has gravitas, which lends itself well to roles where she holds a certain amount of authority. Whether it be Indecent Proposal or A Few Good Men, we could listen to Demi Moore all day long.
You wanted to see Jessup's reaction when you asked for the transfer order. You had an instinct, and it was confirmed by Markinson. Now, damn it, let's put Jessup on the stand and end this thing.
Number 15, Marilyn Monroe.
For I must have you or no one, and so I'm through with love.
Even decades after her tragic death, Marilyn Monroe has a voice that has stayed with us. Whether she was talking or singing, the musical, lilting quality of her tone was mesmerizing to audiences. As far as singing goes, she knew how to wield her voice using her breath and high tones to almost entrance listeners.
But square cut or pear shape, these rocks don't lose their shape. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Monroe was also able to use her seemingly ditzy voice to great comedic effect, which made her perfect to play characters who acted the part of the dumb blonde, while secretly letting the audience in on her true wit.
That's a very interesting point of view.
Ooh, do you feel the breeze from the subway? Isn't it delicious?
Number 14, Katharine Hepburn. The voice that might have never been. When she was just breaking into show business, a young Katharine Hepburn was often criticized for the shrill quality of her voice. She subsequently worked with a coach, and one of the most recognizable tones in Hollywood history was born.
David, can you ever forgive me? You can. And you still love me.
Susan, that...
You do. Oh, David.
Her patrician accent gave off a sense of high society, but also an intellect that emphasized her steadfastness. Katharine Hepburn wouldn't have been Katharine Hepburn if she hadn't cultivated the way she spoke in the manner she did. It helped make her a Hollywood icon for sure.
For richer, for poorer, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health, and thank you so very much for your good wishes at this time.
Number 13, PAULEY PERRETTE. 2 decades after its premiere, NCIS is still ongoing, but one of its most recognizable voices left the show in 2018. For 15 years, PAULEY PERRETTE played Abby Shudo, the team's forensic scientist.
What I really need to know, Gibbs, is if you're gonna love me, no matter what.
Perrette has a beautiful, distinctive look that's only made more interesting by her thrilling, raspy voice. Her low, dulcet tones can hold so much emotion inside them. That ability to portray a deep level of sensitivity using just her voice helped make her acting all the more convincing. Perrette was able to bring real depth to her character, and we hope to see her continue put those vocal chops to good use in the future.
And you're never gonna guess whose computer Captain Reynolds was hacking into. Well, just because I said you'd never guess doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Number 12, Drew Barrymore. It makes complete sense that Drew Barrymore has gone the talk show route. With a voice as interesting and inviting as hers, it was always going to be money in the bank. Barrymore has been in our lives for so long, so she's one of the rare actresses whose voices we've seen mature over time.
I love it. It's just that sometimes when I watch it, I feel like I'm being told about my life from someone else, and when I read this, it's like I'm telling myself.
Still, there's something really unique about the way she speaks. There's sort of a subtle lisp to her words that makes her sound perpetually authentic and sincere. This means she's almost always able to showcase a sense of joy using her voice. Whenever she talks, it literally feels like sunshine personified.
Yeah, of course, everybody has. My sister Rhonda loved them. They had that ridiculous hair and those ridiculous outfits, and oh my God, you're one of them.
Number 11, Lauren Bacall.
Was I gay today, till today?
For starters, let's go back in time into the golden age of Hollywood. Bacall started her career as a model before moving on to Broadway and eventually the silver screen. She had the classic Hollywood looks, but her voice set her apart and made her an icon. With her deep and sultry tone, it made her perfect for the femme fatale archetypes popular at the time.
You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
Even though she was only 19 when she made her film debut in To Have and Have Not, Her husky voice gave her an air of maturity and sensuality that would keep her at the top of the film noir genre for years.
She's a real sad tomato.
She's a busted Valentine.
Number 10, Scarlett Johansson.
So before we address your organizational methods, I'd like to sort through your contacts. Oh, you have a lot of contacts.
I'm very popular.
Really? Does this mean you actually have friends?
Today, she's an A-list celebrity, but when Johansson first started out as a child actor, she had a hard time finding work because of her voice.
Funky.
As Johansson has put it, a 9-year-old with a deep voice just doesn't sell Jell-O. Nowadays, though, she gets work because of her voice. Just look at the movie Her, in which a man falls in love with his Siri-like operating system, which is voiced by Johansson.
It's really nice to meet you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you too.
Poor Theodore. He didn't stand a chance with a voice like that. In addition to that notable role, she has done cartoon voices and is also a rather talented singer, her velvety voice translating beautifully to music.
Number 9, Holly Hunter.
Hunter's voice is more than unique. It tells the story of her life and the adversities she's faced.
If I want to be unrecognized, I don't talk.
Okay, gotcha.
The actress was born and raised in Georgia, where she got her subtle southern twang.
That is like saying that all frat boys wearing country club hats and Hawaiian shirts have shrivel up tiny little dicks.
When she was 9, she contracted the mumps, which left her completely deaf in her left ear. It's hard to say how much her deafness affects her speech, but it's not something she lets get in her way. And this overarching attitude is reflected in her characters, who don't take crap from anyone.
You don't scare me. If something bad was gonna happen, my psychic would have told me. You put that down now, you little bitch. Or so help me. I'll start yelling so loud you'll have to shoot me.
She also has a pronounced lisp that works with the tone of her voice and makes it refreshingly unique.
Girls, come on. Leave the saving of the world to the men? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Number 8, KRISTEN SCHAAL.
Let's keep this mother effing giggle coaster going, huh? Woo!
You can love her voice or you can hate it, but you can't deny that it's unique. SCHAAL started out doing stand-up comedy, contrasting her high-pitched baby voice with dark and twisted subject matter.
Because I killed a genie to get this jacket.
She has since been the voice behind many cartoon characters. Some of her most popular roles include Louise Belcher in the animated comedy Bob's Burgers, and her leading role as Carol in The Last Man on Earth. When SCHAAL started out as an actress, people said that her voice would be a hindrance to her career, but just listen to her now.
So, I'm the kind of gal who tries to make the best of things. And since meatballs will never ever exist again, I said, Carol, get your hands up, grab some raisins, and you smash them into a ball, girl.
Number 7, Sophia Bush.
She always sounds like she's on the verge of losing her voice, and it is so oddly alluring.
My name is Sophia Bush, and I love my voice.
Bush says that the rasp came early on in her life, and that people constantly think she's sick because of it, sometimes even offering her lozenges, which she of course accepts because they're delicious.
No, I don't have a cold. Everyone always thinks I am. I will take your Ricolas, they're delicious, but I don't particularly need them.
Despite her raspy voice, she's played a lot of different roles, from Detective Erin Lindsay in Chicago PD to a love-spurned college student in John Tucker Must Die.
Normally I'm opposed to the slaughter of animals, but in John Tucker's case, I'll make an exception.
She also landed a gig playing the voice of Void in the long-awaited Incredibles 2. After all, every superhero needs a signature voice.
Number 6, Fran Drescher.
Hi there! Aunt Bev, you look amazing.
Oh. When you have a unique voice, you can either hide it or use it to shout loud and proud. Drescher definitely takes the latter route, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Not only is she proud of her New York accent and nasally voice, but she also uses it to her advantage.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, you really do talk like that. I would make this up.
She and Peter Mark Jacobson created a show and a character that perfectly fit Drescher's voice, and sure enough, The Nanny was instantly successful. It remains Drescher's most popular and arguably most hilarious role.
Since its conclusion, Drescher has been busy writing books, hosting her own short-lived talk show, doing guest spots, being a vocal president of SAG-AFTRA, and even creating her own non-profit organization for cancer.
I got famous, I got cancer, and I lived to talk about it, and I'm talking.
Number 5, Jennifer Tilly.
By the way, Miss Tilly, can I have your autograph? I'm a big fan.
She can do sexy, sweet, and downright terrifying. When Tilly first started out in acting, she had a few directors who tried to make her change her voice. But to that, she said hell no.
You're right, Mr. Reed. I am tired of getting kicked around.
Good for you!
It's her trademark. It's made her memorable, and it's led the way throughout her career. She's been acting since 1983, and she's done it all: live action, video games, and cartoons. Outside of acting, she's also a professional poker player, employing her deceptively sweet voice and formidable skills to score multiple titles and almost $1 million in winnings.
Number 4, Kathleen Turner.
I'd do anything for my husband, Mr. Valiant. Anything.
Let's start this off by saying that Kathleen Turner voiced arguably the most iconically sexy cartoon character in the history of the medium, Jessica Rabbit.
You've got me all wrong. You don't know how hard it is being a woman looking the way I do.
While she doesn't do the singing part, Turner's husky voice is perfect for Jessica.
She's definitely also well known for playing Helena Handbasket on Friends.
Her performance of I Feel Pretty is everything you could ask for.
By a pretty, wonderful boy.
When she's not acting or doing voice work, she kills it on Broadway. Her powerful voice effortlessly commanding the attention of the masses.
Chastity and continence, but not yet.
Number 3, Audrey Hepburn.
We couldn't do this list without talking about one of the biggest icons from the golden age of Hollywood. Her voice had a lot of interesting features, so we'll start with her accent. Hepburn grew up in England, but she was a world traveler and reportedly spoke 5 languages fluently. This gave her an accent that was all her own.
Me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours.
She also talked at an even pace with an emphasis on diction. Her most common roles were women who seemed innocent, but had a bit of a wild side.
But in Hertford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen.
But with her pet fawn Pippin, her grace, and a regal voice to match, she was basically a real-life Disney princess.
Number 2, Shohreh Aghdashloo. This actress's first name literally means famous, and it's definitely fitting.
Please don't laugh loud. Just, you have a thick voice, and I'm like, yes, I do know.
It sounds like you didn't really listen to your mom so much then. You kind of just did your own thing.
I did my own thing.
She's often cast as doctors and other such badass women, which is a consistently good fit given that she's inspiring in her own right.
It's not that they're lazy, It's just that we can't give them enough opportunities. In this building, it's easy to forget.
With all due respect, madam, where are you going with this?
Wherever I goddamn like.
Aghdashloo established herself as an actress in Iran, moved to England at the start of the Iranian Revolution, and studied politics before returning to acting. Between her voice and her raw talent as an actress, we just can't get enough of her.
I give an arm and a leg for a complex character like her.
Right.
She was a mother, a lover, a woman, a believer, a follower. I mean, layer after layer after layer, and the way the brilliant writers of the 24 wrote these pieces, she started revealing throughout the season.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Eartha Kitt.
No best dressed list is complete without the addition of the queen of criminals, the princess of plunder, yours untruly.
It's not very often that you find a voice with such sex appeal and such regality combined. Eartha Kitt could do it all. She could dredge up dry wit, give off manic genius, emit a royal presence, or make you fall in love with her, all with her voice alone. It was a voice that was in our lives from the 1950s right up until her death in 2008. She famously played Catwoman in the live-action Batman series, and made a number of songs famous with her unique sound. But perhaps what we will always treasure her most for is her inimitable performance as Yzma in The Emperor's New Groove.
Feel the power.
Oh, I could feel it.
Our moment of triumph approaches. It's dinner time.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.